When we face a sudden loss, shock, setback, or any other traumatic life event, we should never repress the emotions involved with those life occurrences. Now, this could be a death, a divorce, the loss of a job, or any other unwanted change that we can all easily experience at any point in our lives. Hi, I'm Cindy Shumaker, and I help people struggling with grief unpack and manage all their emotions with ease and grace. So, as we experience any type of traumatic event, the emotions can be so strong that we usually experience this unpleasant, altered feeling inside our body somewhere. You're going to feel that. And the brain automatically links that feeling to that moment. And in an instant, it becomes recorded and saved as a memory because neurons that fire together wire together. So, in other words, the stronger the feelings that we experience inside our body, the more we pay attention to what is driving those same feelings in our external world. So it's a difference between what we feel and what is happening to us. So for example, if you had a loved one pass in an automobile accident, you may be afraid then to drive after that because your brain has linked driving and death together. If your spouse told you he wanted a divorce and there was a certain song playing in the background, you may end up hating that song or that band altogether because your brain linked the divorce or the feelings with that divorce and that particular song together. So neurons that fire together wire together. This is how our brains work. Our brain's job is to keep us safe, and when it links things together, that is a signal to you to pay attention. So when you experience any type of loss, it's very important to move through the normal stages of grief and loss or those unwanted changes, no matter what the event is. So never suppress what you're feeling. You must experience and validate all your emotions, all your feelings. Now, the greater problem arises is when you get stuck in the details of those unwanted changes. That means rather than processing the sorrow, the guilt, the regrets, the anger, any loneliness, fear, disappointment, all those emotions, and any other emotions that show up, what happens is instead of processing those, you want to avoid them because they don't feel good, right? You don't like feeling this way. So if you can find a way to avoid them, that's what we do by nature. But here's what happens when you avoid. Avoidance leads to recycling. Recycling means you carry that emotional baggage throughout different situations and relationships as you move forward in life. You recycle your experiences if you don't deal with them in that present situation. Then in the future, whenever you encounter an event that elicits those same type of emotions to varying degrees, the trigger of those emotions puts you right back into that original grieving event from the past. So each time you recall the memory, your body and brain produce the same chemicals as if the incident were happening right now. And this is because your brain does not know the difference between what is real and what is imaginary. Your body thinks the traumatic event is repeating again in your current situation. So as a result, even if you're currently safe, you begin to circulate those stress chemicals throughout your body. And your mind and body then become anchored in the past due to the feelings that are resurfacing. And we could even go out on a limb and say that that those feelings continue to terrorize you. The body becomes subconsciously programmed and conditioned to be the mind through that combination of an idea and a feeling, through the combination of a memory and an emotion, or a stimulus and a response. Then all that is required for a reaction to be triggered is that thought, that feeling, that memory, that emotion, an image, or an actual life event. You now have restarted that conditioning process. So as a result, we behave in ways that become quite predictable and habitual, which makes us feel and physically appear the same as we did in the past. Powerful, huh? We can feel and physically appear as we did in the past. So no, your emotions are not your enemy. Do not suppress them. Reacting is normal and is exactly what you should do. The bigger question is, this is where you need to change your thought process. The bigger question becomes, how long are you going to continue to live in this cesspool of those emotions? That's is where you get stuck. Now, if you can learn how to become self-aware of unpleasant emotions like sadness and pain, anger, fear, disappointment, and so on throughout your day, you're going to be able to reclaim your power by altering your state. It's at that moment that you must make a conscious decision to do something different, to alter your state. And when I work with my clients, they tend to go down that rabbit hole of being sucked in, like to the quicksand of those emotions. And my biggest thing with them is, please become very self-aware of what you're doing. Make note of it. Don't judge it. Just make note of it. And then make a conscious decision to change that. Self-awareness is the biggest step that you can take in how to change your future. So doing this will actually propel yourself forward so you can build a new future, which is no longer dictated by your past. You will energetically move from this familiar past you once knew into this unknown future, which is now infused with hope that things can be different. Don't we all like that feeling of hope, especially when we've been in a dark place for so long? So the emotions from your past will no longer be in sync with where you want to go and what you want to experience. Therefore, you're now free to start experiencing the feelings of your future before it actually occurs. And I know this is deep, but it works powerfully. You actually have the power to start building a new future by combining a clear purpose of that new future with an elevated emotion that you've attached to it. So a good example of this would be in the event of a divorce. You want to move forward. You want to start, maybe you want to start a new career, or maybe you want to go back to school. Whatever that desire would be, you must step into that feeling. Put yourself in that situation in your mind, go there. Imagine what it would feel like. Imagine what you might see. You might even hear sounds associated with that new idea that you want to move forward with. Really feel it. Yeah, elevate those emotions, make them bigger, make them brighter, make them bolder. Make it a daily practice to mentally step into that world in which you want to go. And once this happens, you start finding ways to make your thoughts a reality. Things will start falling into place. And I've seen this over and over again with my clients who really show up and start working on themselves. If you want to change your personal reality, you're going to have to change your personality. Nothing changes in your life until you change. And that is a quote that I love by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Because you are 100% responsible for your life and how you show up for it. Today is a great day to start making those changes. Have patience with yourself and remember, you're never, ever alone. So if this information helped you, please share it with others who may need to hear it as well. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.